Good morning guys, welcome to Lost Phoenix Gaming. Today I'm back on Forza Motorsport 7 having a look at the Forzathon challenges for the week. First of all is paying your dues for the Ferrari F1 car. There's the smoke rings for the tuxedo orange driver gear and there's full power for the credits. So let's get into this, let's have a look and let's see what we've got. We've got to complete 4 laps at Brands Hatch in a modern hot hatch division car. So I'm going over to Brands Hatch, I'm picking the INDY circuit, and as for cars, I might go for something iconic. I'm going for the Mini John Cooper Works edition. So it's Mini Cooper, the John Cooper Works edition. Very nice. Doing me 4 laps around the Brands Hatch. I quite like the Minis. They're owned by BMW these days, but they're not so much Minis now, they're more half series. But I like these Minis. The John Cooper Works one is a particular sort of standout signature model, and it's handling Brands Hatch very nicely. An iconic British car, despite being technically German, is taking a classic British circuit in its stride. I've done a quick cut because 4 laps is a bit excessive, so I've done 30 seconds on the first lap and I'm doing the last 30 seconds on the last. So again, making pretty decent time. You can see I'm improving my lap times of each lap, which I'm happy about. So as I'm coming round now, the last little bit of a track, heading towards the finish line. You can see why I did cut this down, 4 minutes and 7 seconds across the line. So if you hear any banging in the background, guys, this is my neighbours, right? They're great, they're brilliant, but they're doing their bathroom, right? They're totally ripping out their bathroom and just replacing it completely. So if that's what the noise is, I can't do a lot about that, so please bear with me if you do hear anything. I've got the pop-ups telling me I've made progress and I've completed paying your dues. So if I head back into the Forzathon screen and I can have a look and see what's next. But first off, what I will do, I will pick up my 1990 Ferrari. Bit of a classic. It's crazy how F1 cars have changed since the 90s. It's absolutely mad as someone who grew up watching F1. It's sort of mad how they've changed, you know, all the technology and the design and different stuff. It's become way too complicated. But moving on, I have got smoke rings. Get a drift score of 8,000 in a single lap as a drift event in any Mazda car. The other challenge of this one, of course, is get a drift score of 6,000 in a single lap of a drift event at Lime Rock. I really don't like you guys at Forza today, I really don't. If these were separate challenges, I'd say fair enough, let's get myself over to Lime Rock, pick a Mazda car and let's go hit the 8,000 score, let's go and get it. But they're not separate events, so unfortunately I do have to do them on an individual basis. But that may be a good thing considering how short Lime Rock actually is. It's one of those circuits where I think you would be pushed to get an 8,000 score in a single lap, unless you're some kind of drifting wizard, which, as you guys may have noticed from previous week's events, is definitely not the category I fall into. I tend to fall into good enough to get by sort of category when it comes to drifting. So maybe it's a good thing that they're not separate events, although I'd still give it a go just for a laugh. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll make a start in a Mazda car, get a score of 8,000, and of course heading over to Circuit de Spa de Francorchamps, which is my default go-to circuit for any drifting, partly because of the layout and partly because of the length. It gives me plenty of time to get those points up. So I've set an 8-minute race up on there, although I usually don't need it. Doing a few little drifts here and there. my funky yellow Mazda. I've used this before and it's a little bit specced up. This isn't a stock version. I put a tune on it. I'm not sure offhand what the horsepower is on this, but it's definitely quicker than it should be. And as a drifting event goes, I'm getting the right sort of numbers in, I'm getting the right sort of scores in, although it's just still a bit messy and I'm making a few obvious little mistakes as I go round. My usual excuse on this one, which I think is a pretty valid one half the time, is that I record these at stupid o'clock in the morning. And I was recording this, I think, at well after midnight again. So after a long day and different stuff, you're falling asleep and you're not really doing as well as you could do. But unfortunately, with the way that my life is and the way that everything revolves around everything in my house, this is about the only time I can get myself on these. So yeah, it's not really a good thing in a way that I'm doing this stuff when I'm half asleep. But on the other hand, I'm still getting the scores, I'm still hitting the challenges, and I'm usually a little bit more with it sort of next day or a couple of days later when I'm doing me audio for this stuff. So sort of I can look at it and be a bit more critical of myself in a way. But now I'm getting a score in, 8,000 there, just hit it, which is brilliant. 6 minutes left on the clock, so I've got no particular worries about this one. I would definitely have struggled to get a score of 8,000 in a single lap around the other circuit, which is probably good if it is separate. But what I'll do with these is I'll do a lap around here, but then I'll do a cut to the end, because usually I just park it up or sometimes go and see if I can beat my numbers, but half the time I actually don't. I mean, what I did with this is actually quite funny. So what I did with this is I went round, did a lap and just cut and went off and made myself a cup of coffee, because quite frankly when you're zoning out it's probably not good. You know what they say, tiredness kills when it comes to driving, even in the virtual world. I think the amount of times I've actually been doing these videos and I've completed a race, I've got to the podium, I've just fallen asleep on the sofa, woke up about 4 AM, the video's finished recording after an hour and I'm still standing on the podium doing silly dances. So it's one of those things where editing definitely does help me a lot on this one. I've still got the November races to do, although I have actually accrued some credit towards this for this Forzathon, because with the Forzathon races today does count towards my complete 10 races for the monthlies, so that's not too bad. I'm a bit apprehensive about doing the multiplayer at the moment, because as it stands I'm waiting for a new router to come through, because my router is absolutely stone age, it's horrendous, it just doesn't work at all. It's terrible, it keeps dropping connections, all these issues. So I've bought a new router for my ISP, which I suppose is quite a good one. So I'm waiting for that to come through. And once that's through, I'll set it up and hopefully I won't have too many issues. But I've got that. And my next challenge course is to get the 6,000 score round Lime Rock in a single lap. So naturally, there's going to be one car for this. It's only one car I can feasibly do this in. And that is the Unicorn. A car which is built for drifting, that's all it does, it drifts, it's built purely for that purpose. I've set a 12-minute timer because I'm not confident of doing this in one lap. I think that I may do a lap, end up getting a lower score, and have to do a few more laps, which of course, if that was going to be a case, I'll do some editing and whatnot. But as it stands, I'm doing my drifting. I'm actually doing a lot better than I was expecting to on this, although I am quickly running out of track, making a few little mistakes, mainly because of tiredness and mainly because at this point I'd pretty much wrote this lap off. I thought, no, I'm not going to get it, I'm not going to do it. So let's just mess about a bit and I'll pick this up on a second lap. But that said, I've somehow managed to pull it back towards the end now, and I've actually got 6.9 thousand, which has hit my target. I've done it in one lap, which is brilliant. I thought I'd need a lot more goes on that, so I've done the quick cut. So that was quite a quick cut out actually, and it says I've made progress in smoke rings, and I've completed smoke rings, which was quite good because I was actually sitting for about 10 minutes just waiting for the clock to run down on that one. So that's that drifting challenge done. Definitely impressed that I managed to do it in one lap. So because I've completed smoke rings, I get the tuxedo orange driver gear. Stop everyone in their tracks in the orangest orange known to man. I know, it's got shades of Dumb and Dumber in that, isn't it? It is very Dumb and Dumber. You can see I've got the monthly races which I've made progress for. And then there's Full Power. Win a race at Autodromo Nazionale Monza in a 1990 Ferrari, the F1 car, which I won on the first challenge. I've picked the short circuit simply because it's quick and it's short, as the name suggests. Have a quick burn round in this classic F1 car. Alain Prost, no less, an icon of 90s Formula 1. But to be fair, when you're driving the Alain Prost car, you can't really go far wrong, can you? This, of course, was before the days of sort of Damon Hill and different things from later on in the 90s, but not doing too badly. I see my opponent is pretty close up looking at my map, but when you're clocking almost 200 miles an hour coming into a corner, I can see the finish line. Foot to the floor, 198. So that's 198 across the line in 43 seconds. That was an easy win. I quite like that. Because a lot of these races I do tend to pick up like the new Renault Formula 1, but I'm going to like it. That's quite a cool car. So I've done that. The pop-ups appeared telling me I've made progress. I'm looking cool in my tuxedo orange driver gear. Or my orange tuxedo driver gear, as it were. Actually, I don't look cool, like a proper muppet. But Full Power, the next challenge is to complete a race where you go at least 174 miles an hour in a Forza P2 division car. This is for the 90,000 credits. It's got to be Indy, it's got to be Indianapolis Speedway, it's got to be Brickyard, quick circuit, and I'm going for this. This is absolutely crazy. Star Wars, Battlefront. No mention of loot boxes, please. They're absolutely hammering round this. 174, I think the requirement was. So 173 into the first corner. 174 I've touched. 75. 180. This is in my bag. This is really simple. This is really simple. I've had this car for a while, but never really sort of driven it. Why I put the Star Wars thing on it, I'm not too sure. Although admittedly I am a bit of a Star Wars geek. So much so that one of my children is actually called Luke. I'm a bit of a Star Wars geek, but absolutely hammering this across the line. 53 seconds. Absolutely loving it. What can you say? Absolutely bombing over the line. And moving on to the third and final challenge. First though, I've got the pop-up saying I've made progress. And if I nip over into the Forzathon screen, I can have a look and I can see what we've got. So the next challenge is to complete a race at Bernese Alps in an Elite Factory Racers Division car. That'll be my third and my final challenge for this set, and that will give me 90,000 credits. So let's go in, let's have a look at it, and I think I might pick something a little more unusual on this one. So I've got the club circuit running on the Bernese Alps. Here it comes. I have got the Nissan. The thing is, I could go into here, I could pick the Porsche, I could pick a Ferrari, I could pick other stuff here. I could pick a Mazda and whatnot. I could do different stuff, but Nissan doesn't always get a lot of love. They're pretty good cars. I know we had a thing the other week with Nissan, but I mean Nissan doesn't always get a lot of love. So I thought let's pick something different. I love the colour. It's a nice car. I don't particularly like the Bernese Alps for quite a few reasons, but having a nice fly around there now. I've decided to go for one lap, which should theoretically take me just over a minute, so I'm not going to bother cutting and editing and doing different stuff on here. I'm just going to let it run and see what sort of time I get. You can definitely see the tiredness coming creeping in now. Little tap on the walls along the way there. Lane discipline is a little worse than usual, I have to admit. That's why I'm not really going to do much now. I might have a sit down, might drink my coffee and try and do a couple of the things for the monthly challenges, but I may just say forget it and go to bed. But coming around here, 1 minute 24. I'm coming up towards the line, so yeah, it's over a minute. And crossing the lane, 1 minute 32 seconds. So that's not a bad lap when you consider I am falling asleep doing this. But I could probably do better if I had a retry, but why not? It'll do for us, it does the job, and gives the Nissan a bit of an outing. So that's my pop-up saying I've made the progress, and of course for one saying I've completed the challenge. So that's congratulations, you've completed full power. And I've completed paying your dues, and I've completed smoke rings, 90,000 credits. Why not? I do like the look of some of these monthly challenges for VIPs, VIP and me car pass challenges. Unfortunately, I don't have either of them, and to be perfectly honest, I've struggled to justify investing in them at this point. But we've got the showcase for November there, which is what I'll be getting into either a bit later or tomorrow night, and I'll be putting a video up later in the week on this one. But I should have done all these by the time you see this video on a Monday. But looking at next week we only seem to have 2 at the moment, which is a bit strange. There's pull out all the stops, something special for the real McCoy driver gear, and then there's alphabet soup, swimming in it, for the 2016 Ferrari FXXK, which, being a slightly more family friendly channel, I'm not going to tell you what the FXXK stands for, other than the fact that I remember watching, I think it was the Grand Tour in fact, talking about it, and they're saying it's apparently named because it's fast as FXXK. Right? I'm not explaining that one out for kids watching this, but an adult, you'll get it. So that's a challenge next week. There's only 2 at the moment, so I don't know what's going on there. I'll be hitting up the monthly challenges, so I'll be popping a video up later in the week on that one. So until next time guys, thank you very much for watching, take it easy and happy driving.